Look at all the people we don't see anymore.
Aw, I miss Jane Theory.
Me too.
Well, Culture's in the chat, so we see him.
Oh, very cool. That's right. That's right. And Scott was on last night, so.
It's nice that he makes an appearance on his channel once a week.
You gotta try that at least, you know. Alrighty, everybody. I don't know why this video takes forever to finish after it goes to black, but hello, Sporkers and everybody in the chat. I hope you're having an awesome week. It's just the three of us here for now, so hopefully we don't break anything because Steven is working his way back home from his job today. And let's see, what do we got going on? We've got a bunch of fun topics that we can chat about, and I'll let the boys decide what they want to start with. But before we do get started, hey, little Chad, tell us what you've been doing this week.
I've been working the real job, the one that pays the bills, and defending the season finale of Loki to people because I actually enjoyed the season finale. So I did think it was still basically over 2 seasons, 5 episodes worth of content, but it's still good. I thought it ended strong. So
Good.
I wanted to share that take with you, Tina, because I know it would be something that you would enjoy.
Yes, no, I appreciate hearing that. I obviously thoroughly enjoyed Loki season 2, and I thought that it was a perfect ending. I liked the fact that it kind of began and ended in the 2 seasons. You know, we weren't left with a cliffhanger, and there weren't a whole lot of questions at the end. But then there was enough going on that we could continue on for a 3rd season if we decide. Hello, Culture Casino. Oh my goodness.
Hello, folks. I just wanted to pop in here because Scott's not here, so it's safe.
Culture, you ruined my plan.
Oh, I'm sorry, Slender. I'll go away.
No, don't go away yet. But I was just gonna say, since more than half of the panel is now the Ascendant Art Podcast, we're taking over, and I hereby rename this podcast the Ascendant Spork Podcast, or ASS for short.
That makes perfect sense, Slender. I'm on board with that. I vote for that change.
And I do want to the people watching to say thank you to Culture, who is always gracious enough to send his chat over on Friday nights after he does his post flight, and it's very welcomed.
I'm trying to double your audience over there. So.
Oh, you more than double your audience. You give us an audience. It's kind of weird. Like I was never used to having one before.
I was starting to get lonely, but you've got lots of people in those chats now.
I know now Tina has to worry about when she takes that Ambien and starts chatting. So
I know there'll be other people to see what I say when it gets too late. Kind of scary.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing.
Yes.
Just like the Marvels is failing is a good thing.
I swear, was it
Oh, that's a topic of discussion on the list.
I know I sent I was the one who I think who told you about how Deadline was like, it compares well to Blade from 1998, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
You're going to talk about a movie that cost $40 million in 1998 that opened about 15 million and try to make that as your let's pump up the Marvels?
40 to 15, 250 to 20.
Oh, wait, no. 250 is just when it was last reported, like last year in UK filings. It's going to be well.
Oh, that's before the reshoots?
Yep.
That was not the win they were looking for. Let's just be
definitely not. It was not a fantastic movie, but I don't think it was the worst MCU film. And of course, I think Aman Vellani is just a ball of sweetness and light, and she was about the only good thing about the movie.
But when I go into a porta shitter and I look down inside the bowl, I don't try to pick out the worst or the best lump of crap in there. Like it's all just crap.
And I can appreciate that. I just honestly, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I really expected it to be kind of a disaster, and it was only 3/4 of a disaster for me.
Well, in customer service, we like to call that under promise and over deliver. And I think
There you
the
go.
marketing for the Marvels really under promised, so it was easy to over deliver when you got into that theater. I will say, I think that from the trailer, she seemed like the most, I guess, committed and really wanting to be their kind of actor out of the group. But I
Mhm.
And
just don't like that she's going to be the gateway to the young MCU Avengers, and that kind of bothers me.
speaking of committed, I think a lot of those people that were involved in that project should be committed.
Well, the director wasn't committed because she flew her ass over to England to shoot another movie instead of finishing it. He was like, "Peace out. I'm not
That's right.
committed at all."
Oh, that's right. She wasn't there for any of the reshoots, was she?
No, I think she decided like Marvel didn't let her actually shoot the movie, so she might as well not bother with editing it. So it's fine.
Oh, there you go.
And I still want a
Sure.
Marvel movie to acknowledge the giant celestial sticking out of the Indian Ocean from the Eternals, because you'd think that something that is going from Earth all the way into low orbit would be a thing you have to talk about, but nope, not one peep.
See, I would love to have had that happen in real life, like, but you'd have to get a bunch of writers that aren't super woke because they could talk about that being like the new reason for global warming or the oceans rising and all of that jazz. So,
I mean, you want to talk about like a global environmental catastrophe. You've got some that amount of mass suddenly in the ocean
mhm.
displacing currents and causing disruptions to jet streams. I mean, this isn't something that would none of the Marvel writers are smart enough to think about that. And Tina, you saw the Marvels, right? So
Mhm.
is it true that apparently losing atmosphere causes buildings to collapse? Is that a new thing?
That I'm not really sure about. But if I do recall, she was able the Bar oh gosh, what was her name? Bendar, Darbem, something like
Jendar Ben.
ah,
Jendar Ben. Duh.
gender bend, huh? But she did try to steal the atmosphere for or successfully steal the atmosphere from another planet. I think the buildings were falling down because of the suction of stealing the atmosphere and bringing it through the wormhole to their to the Kree homeworld. So
Was there a giant vacuum cleaner robot with the password 12345?
not exactly, but it was pretty darn close. That's for sure. But yeah, no, the villain successfully destroyed the homeworld of where the other half of the scrolls that hadn't already invaded Earth were hanging out, and then she was trying to steal the sun from our galaxy.
Because
So
it's
that
so
was
much easier to do that than, I don't know, go to
No.
another galaxy where there isn't life.
yeah.
Black
I kind of yeah,
I,
I
I,
was kind of surprised they didn't try, but I guess maybe being a migrant or a refugee is not considered a great status nowadays. So.
What's up, Mad? Was anyone else gonna? Nope, nobody's else talking.
Nobody else talking.
Well, you guys keep saying great lines to songs, like you don't have to live like a refugee.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Oh,
enjoying the
there you go.
awkwardness of the long pregnant pauses.
There's no joy in
Well,
this.
speaking of,
Does Madden realize he's on mute? Or did he forget? It's
Oh,
like the mute went
I
away,
don't know.
but he's not saying
It,
anything.
does Mad stream
well,
anymore?
uh,
Do you even stream, bro?
comes on other people's streams. Yeah, I haven't seen him do something from his channel in a while. Well, let's take the pregnant pause time to say hello to folks in the chat. First one in tonight was Awesome One. Good to see you again, sir. Hello to Keely Chow. He joins us every single week, all of the time. And we have Culture Casino who is also here on the panel with us. And he was the one who reminded me that we were running late, so I wasn't paying attention to the clock. So thank you. And our magnificent mod, Soul Assassin, who's also always here every week with us. Thank you, thank you. Looks like so Walton must be still in his car driving home quickly. So hopefully you're driving safe and not texting while you drive. Oh no, and we lost Mad. And let's see who else we've got here. I think that is it so far. So we have lots of topics that we could discuss today. We have some trailers we could watch later once we move over to Rumble. But you guys can vote as we do each week on what you want to start with. We have the wonderful news about Reed Richards being cast for the MCU. Uh, we could talk some more about Loki season 2 in the finale. We also can check out an article about how Disney has decided to add pronouns to its cast members' name tag. So isn't that fun? And the Dutch think that they can go ahead and have sex and birth babies in space. So they're working real hard on that.
Wait,
And
where's our where's our gold member line? There's only two things I don't like in this world: people intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch.
and then the last article is all about lots of migrants who have realized that the American dream doesn't exist, so they're heading back home.
Isn't that specifically from Chicago that they're leaving?
That is, this article was written from Chicago, but it's happening in other cities too. So not just the.
If I was a migrant and I got shipped up to Chicago and then this is what I was dealing with, I'd be like, peace out. I'm going back to Venezuela myself.
Yeah, you didn't exactly win the lottery if they sent you to Chicago.
Yeah, well, basically, that's exactly what the article is saying, is that we have tons of migrants who were bused from Texas up to Chicago, and now that the Chicago winter is beginning, they're not happy because they don't have places to live and jobs to work, and they specifically mention sleeping in police stations, like we brought up a couple weeks ago. So that's been a lot of fun.
Pritzker's still governor of Illinois, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, but yeah, that's
Some Venezuelan migrants who trekked thousands of miles to the U.S. in search of a better life are so disheartened, they say they're already heading back home. Okay, first off, migrants? I mean, I would love to know their legal status.
I do not believe that they are legal or on the track to citizenship as of yet. But apparently, when they were in Texas, they were told, "Get on this bus. We're sending you to Chicago. There's going to be a place to live. There's going to be a job for you, and everything's going to be fine and wonderful." So when they got here, it was very nice and a beautiful summer and early fall. And now all of a sudden, there's no place to sleep. Except for inside the police stations. But not mentioned in this article, Chicago has grabbed, I think it was about $38 million out of the state's budget so that we can start to house migrants in the local park district buildings. And they found a 10-acre lot that used to be used for smelting zinc and housing oil tankers and things of that nature. So they're paving over that and they're building a tent city.
pave paradise and put up a parking lot.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Pretty
man. Those tents, they're probably not going to get it done in the winter in Chicago.
I mean, they're basically just building the type of encampment that lit up in LA and set up that major fire under that underpass last week, right?
Pretty much.
Michael Castione, 39, told the Chicago Tribune he has had enough after he, his wife, and teenage stepdaughter spent 5 months sleeping in either a police precinct or a crowded city shelter in the now brutally cold, windy city. Calm down, guys. It's only the middle of November. It ain't brutally cold yet. But it will be.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
You also got to watch out.
December, early January, and you're going to be looking at wind chills of -20 or worse.
Let's not forget also at 3 a.m. during the middle of winter when you're going out to Subway to get a sandwich.
Fuck, MAGA country will
It's
come
going to
for
be
you.
MAGA country's going to come for you. It's like Hulk Hogan.
I think that that particular country moved along from Chicago long ago. Just saying.
He's also been unable to secure a job permit or enroll his daughter in a local school. Two of the main reasons, things they thought would bring a better life. This guy, is it reasons or things? Is it reasons or things?
They don't employ editors at the New York Post anymore. Come on.
Now, it's a pet peeve of mine when it comes to reporting about immigration issues, but I'm gonna talk about it, which is, in the one breath they'll tell you that we are losing manufacturing jobs and all these other blue collar jobs you used to be able to support your family with due to automation. We're automating things. We need less people to work. And then on the other breath, they're going to tell you we need to import all this labor because we need all this labor because we don't have enough people to work. So which is it? Do we need people to work, or are we automating everything so we don't need anybody to work? Because it seems kind of contradictory. And I think the answer is we still need people to work. So they just want cheap labor. And you think more people would catch on to that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Mic check.
We can hear you, sir.
Read you 555.
We can hear you. Hello.
I don't know what happened last time. I was talking and then Chad interrupted me and then I couldn't speak again.
Oh, did he put a spell on you?
Is it the part where I said, "Hey, Matt," and then got quiet and let it
exactly?
Just...
Okay, well, Mad, you have arrived at the perfect time since we know that you do the best accents. Can you read the line that Castellón told the paper on the eve of his family's departure?
Sure, yeah. The Bears. The American dream doesn't exist anymore. No, that was hard. Hold on. Hey, it's me. I'm from Chicago. The American dream doesn't exist anymore.
No, he's an immigrant
God damn
to
it.
Chicago.
Where's he from?
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Oh, that's easier.
That's your favorite one.
Yeah. The American dream doesn't exist anymore.
Grant Gregory's here? What?
No, god dang it. Hold on. Venezuelan. Okay, Venezuelan. Oh, man. I dated this chick from Chile one time. She was Chilean, and dude, she was fucking cuckoo bananas. Brazilian, too. I don't know what it is about South America, but they produce some of the craziest chicks.
Brazilian, Chilean?
No,
by
Chilean.
way of...
Yeah, from Chile.
Chilean.
Chilean.
I think it's Chilean.
Chilean.
No, it's definitely not Chilean. I don't know what Chilean is, but
it's where the
a person
chinchillas
from
live.
Chile. Yeah, it's from Chile.
No, that's Chilean.
Let's agree to distree.
Wait,
is chinchilla the kind of pet you would have as a full-grown masculine man?
I don't know, but I'm now confused because I thought chinchillas came from Chinchilla. What is the name of it again?
Well, I know that Canadians come from Canada.
They are. Yes, that's true. Canada. That's right.
I thought chinchillas came from Chinchillapolis, right?
Isn't that where we get chia pets?
Chia.
No, that's Chiatopia, I believe.
Well, where did they get the Chichi Rodriguez tea stuff?
Chichi Rodriguez, you're old school now.
You've lost me.
Because he's old. Yes.
Read the next paragraph in your Venezuelan accent.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys don't care about golf then, Chichi. None of you know.
No. Who cares about golf?
Hey,
it's a legitimate.
There's nothing
sport.
here for us. We just want to go home.
Said all the people who went and watched golf.
So these two statements, hard to call them paragraphs. So these two statements here, I find are very interesting because if all of the folks entering our southern border are true refugees, how is it that they're willing to go back home after 5 months?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
You know,
Like,
people who need asylum only need asylum because they want housing and education, which has never been what asylum was for. Asylum was you're being persecuted, you've got a high risk of being murdered if you stay in your country, so we are going to grant you asylum. It's not,
Right.
hey, you want a better house and a better education for your kids, just like everybody else who wants to move in America to the nicer neighborhood with the nicer school systems. So, yeah, asylum for you.
Exactly. And I was really surprised to find out that they weren't able to enroll their daughter in school because the Chicago public school system, it may not be one of the greatest bastions of education in the United States. However, it's almost entirely bilingual in
Did you
every
notice,
district.
though, they only said teenage stepdaughter, so she's probably 19. And so can't, and so the school system is probably like, no, you can't just enroll in our school at, at this age.
That is a good point. Let's
Because
see.
when the press likes to do these weird, like if they say teenage but don't give any like actual age range, that probably means 19. If it was
well,
a younger kid, they would
that's
say
not
like,
even just limited to the press. I mean,
Yeah.
that whole
Well-
the number one killer of children in America is gun violence. It's like, no, it's definitely not. But I guess when you take anyone from the age of 14 to 22 and call them children and don't rule out gang violence, then yeah, you can suddenly make that statistic mean whatever you want
well,
it to mean.
they also tend to, when they say that statistic, the caveat is also that they take out accidental deaths, like from car accidents and things. So it's like, what's
Mhm.
the number one homicide cause?
Mhm.
Which, you know, accidental deaths don't count as homicides. So
No, this
they're
is why
already
words matter, because there are a lot of verbal shell games being played. And this whole teenage daughter thing, yeah, I think you may have seen another one of those verbal shell games right there.
Yeah.
That is a good
I'm
point.
I'm a teenage Chilean.
Oh my
And
god,
this might be
20,000 have gone to Chicago since August of last year.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, and you can tell it. I mean, there were the pictures I shared a couple weeks ago with the fact that, the police districts are having less number of complaints made by citizens filed at the police station because they have to crawl
Because they
over.
can't get in the damn police station. Yeah, I remember you telling us about that.
Exactly. So here is the couple that was interviewed, and we don't see the teenage daughter, so we can't do an age guess. But this is them camped inside the police station, and this is we had examples of what do we do there. We have porta potties in the parking lots of our police stations now. And this is what the outside looks like, as everybody has their mattresses kind of piled up against the building. And then at night, all the mattresses come down and the whole block
So
is
this
full.
this is great
Classy.
because it reminds me, you guys have probably heard the Abraham Lincoln quote before, right? About how to get a bad law repealed. Like
Yeah,
Of
enforce it
course,
strictly.
yeah.
is to enforce it strictly. The quickest way to actually get immigration enforced was to start moving the migrants that were coming across the border into the blue states and blue cities. And all of a sudden it's like Biden's like, let's build that wall.
But
Let's
by the way, it looks like what Chicago needs is a visit from Xi Jinping. Is
Well,
that his
and
name?
Oh yeah,
Winnie
they'll
the
clear
Pooh?
those streets fast.
well, and this is the thing, right? The American dream ain't dead, but they were probably fed a lie as to what the American dream is. Because the American dream is not you coming to our city, you get on all our social programs, and then we just pay your way for you. Like, you want to live
Yeah,
the
they
American dream, you got to work your ass
Yeah,
off.
I
yeah.
know. You got to
It-
listen to
it-
Dusty Rhodes 12 hours a day to
Yeah.
learn about
baby.
that American dream.
Baby, I'm one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I have 17 moves that are banned in 37 states. I'm the American dream. I love Dusty Rhodes. He's awesome.
Who doesn't? Anybody who loves wrestling loves Dusty Rhodes. And they love the child he didn't acknowledge.
But I'm sorry, that welfare pie you were hoping to get a slice of, like there was probably a pie made for like 60,000 to 80,000 people, and when another 20,000 show up, every single slice of that pie gets real small.
Well, that American dream was never meant to be without work. It was never, here you go. You were born. Here's the American dream.
And the
Yeah,
streets are paved with gold.
yeah. Oh, honey, I can't pay the rent. I'm just gonna go pry up one of them gold cobblestones. Solve that problem.
Yep. Oh, and so our interviewee here also stated, how many more months of living in the streets will it take? No more. It's better that I leave. At least my mother is back home. So we can
It's better that I leave. I agree with the immigrant on something.
Exactly. So Catholic Charities, thankfully, is taking a lot of the money that they've raised to assist
Oh,
the migrants.
whatever.
And
Catholic Charities is one of the worst perpetrators of this BS. Like, I'm sorry,
they're
but
paying for plane tickets to Texas. We
oh
like
yeah,
them now.
they're probably going to
No,
stay in Texas because it's warm now.
They need to send them. They need to not send them to Texas. That is not a good move.
Yeah,
That's
send
no.
them to the country they need to go to. Final
Yeah,
destination.
If the Catholic Charities really wanted to help out, they'd mail those people all the way down to the tip of the bottom of the entire continent, and say, "Good luck."
And they do it normal style too. They put a couple enchiladas in a box. When they go in the box, they slam it shut. They duct tape that thing and they ship it.
What? Like a cardboard box with like a stick holding it up
Yeah.
and a string attached to it, and
Yeah.
ice is around the corner with the other end of the string. Come on, you Chichilian. Come on. It's enchiladas.
We got another couple of Chichilians. Quick.
Now.
Ooh,
These
man.
are human beings, so give them a little bit of dignity.
I didn't do that. That was ice.
Yeah, we weren't doing it. We were just talking about what ICE is planning to do.
So
Oh,
I thought
it's-
the part that I thought was very interesting is, I wonder who it is. It says some suggested they have been drawn to Chicago after being wrongly led to believe they could be granted swiftly be granted asylum status and a work permit. Who told them that?
I believe it may have been Chicago when they proudly announced to the entirety of America that they were a sanctuary city and they would take care of the immigrants and they would not enforce our immigration law.
Yes.
Yeah. So Prisker and Beetlejuice, the former governor,
Yeah,
former
Beetlejuice.
mayor of Chicago. Who's the new one that's even like more left wing and worse?
I don't know. I just call him Mr. Ain't Nothing Gonna Change.
Well, you know the motto in Chicago: vote early, vote often. So
Yes,
that's
and it is Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Tina. You have an escape plan to get out of Illinois in the next 5 years, right?
I don't know about the next 5 years, but we do have an escape plan, and that is Central Tennessee. When that will happen, I do not know. We were going to try and do that after the kids finish college, but that one darn kid has decided he's going for a doctorate degree. So
Well, he's old enough to live by
then fuck
himself.
him. He's on his own. Good
Yeah,
luck,
I
buddy.
mean, if he's going for a doctorate, I don't know that he's a kid anymore.
You can sit him down and Tina and be
Unless
like,
you
"Look,
got fucking Doogie Howser living at your place.
Right? Didn't we just have this whole conversation about categorizing people as kids when they're not?
Yes.
yeah, like sit down your child and be like, look, you can be a doctor of move your ass out because we're leaving."
Why don't you write your thesis on paying your own damn rent?
well, actually, the good thing about him though is that unless his professor's been trying to tell him to apply to MIT because he thinks he could get in.
Oh,
but
that's
he'll-
even better. Massachusetts. Oh,
Exactly. So we've been trying to tell him, it's like, you know what, let's, do more state schools, with slightly smaller programs, because he'll get a better, financial package. And if he stays where he is now, they will cover all of his tuition and room and board as long as
what is he
TA.
doctoring? What is he doctoring in?
I don't know the exact field of study because I'm pretty stupid when it comes to the sciences, but his undergraduate major is in biochemistry.
Is there any school in the deep South that has that, like, an Alabama or Mississippi university? I'm pretty sure cost of living would be a lot lower and they'd probably do really nice financial.
Yeah, but they got to pay out
back-
of state.
That's true. Out-of-state tuitions are usually higher.
I don't even. Do they do in-state for grad school?
Who knows?
I don't think grad school has in-state tuition.
Yeah, I don't know about that at all. I know a lot of the states are giving other states the in-state tuition rate, especially if the states are close. Like I know you can go to most Wisconsin, Indiana, Missouri.
Oh, here's the
Michigan
thing.
schools for the
Have
same
him
price.
check the box that says he's an illegal immigrant, and they will give him in-state tuition immediately.
And I mean, what kind of biochemistry, doctorate is he going to get in Wisconsin? Like a biochemistry and cheese fermentation? Come on.
Don't you know?
Well, like I said, I'm hoping he stays where he is, or like I said, finds a place in Kentucky or Tennessee that's close to where we want to go.
Doesn't Tennessee has one of the really big, one of the nuclear research labs, right? Doesn't it? Isn't that one of the places that has a really high-end research zone? What do I want to say? They have a research triangle where they spent all the money and they do a lot of that stuff.
Well, I'll have to look into that. I am not aware. My nephew, it goes to University of Louisville, and I know they've got a lot of great programs there. He's actually getting a biochemical engineering degree. So,
What is with your family and getting super science degrees?
Right?
Are they the ones? Is your family where Reed Richards is going to come from? Should Marvel be getting these guys as technical advisors for Pedro Pascal?
that would be pretty cool. I mean, my older son is getting a mechanical engineering degree, and he is looking to go into 3D modeling, computerized. So I don't know if he's going to grad school too. Like I said, I hope they both have someone to pay their tuition, because I'm just tired. $50,000 a year for 6 years has been a little rough.
You
What?
are going to be stuck
What?
in Chicago forever.
Well,
Forever.
6 years of 50 grand a year. Oh my god.
Well, when JD was in school for the first 2 years on his own, that was only $25,000 a year, and then they're 2 years apart.
Only.
And JD took the 6-year plan because COVID and online schooling didn't work really well for him. So then it's taking him 6 years to graduate. Jacob is just doing it in 4 years, but when they're both in there together, it's $50,000 a year. And that will end, thank God. We'll make our last payment in January.
Do you know what state
paying for
public
my
college
house again?
tuition? You need to move to Virginia. State public tuition for a college at a public college here is $9 grand a year.
Well, it would have been 11 grand a year if I could have gotten them to agree to drive an hour and a half to and from school every day. But since they didn't want to do that and wanted to live on campus, the other 12 grand, 13 grand was room and board.
Holy crap.
Yeah, just have him do his studies out here in West Virginia. We'll teach him all sorts of chemistry, like how to set up a still, how to turn potatoes into mash so that you can make.
Oh, they already learned that. They made meth in class, last semester. So.
What was
I'm sorry. Hold on.
Were you taking a Breaking Bad 101 class that you were making meth?
Yeah.
in the
This
class?
chemistry teacher dying of cancer?
This chemistry teacher is the one who knocks.
Wait, was that something your kids just told you? Oh, we're doing it for class. Maybe they weren't.
Well, he comes to home with the most interesting stories. I mean, because he wants to focus on forensic science. He took an entire research course on, testing different drugs and whatnot. So instead of just like the police do, where you snap a vial and shake and see if it turns purple, they actually chemically analyzed.
You're speaking of NARC kit test number 5.
He comes home with interesting stories and interesting projects. No, Mom, this corpse in my trunk is not. I didn't turn it into a corpse. It's part of my assignment. Okay, we got it. It was donated to the university, and I have to figure out a way to get rid of it with that leaves no evidence.
No, it's my week to keep to take care of the cadaver. We rotate.
We don't have enough for everyone in the university.
Look, everyone dresses the body in an outfit. It's perfectly normal.
Look, like when I was a kid and we would bring home the class hamster. This is the class cadaver.
Of course there's 2 bullet holes in the back of his head. You think they give us the good cadavers?
Now make room in the deep freezer.
We'll put it next to the deer.
Well, one of the days we were calling him back because he had said there was something wrong with the car and he wanted to get the number to call the dealership because his car is still under warranty. And so I call him back and he's not really engaged in the conversation. I'm like, oh, honey, I'm like, if you're still in the lab, let me know and, we'll call you back later. He's like, yeah, Mom, I'm kind of carrying blah, 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 blah acid that can, seep through like 12 floors of the building and a couple 100 feet.
Oh, the xenomorph acid.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm like, oh, you know what, honey? Yeah, you can kind of just put your phone on do not disturb when you're moving around chemicals of that nature. Thanks.
Young people do not understand that concept. Like,
I keep my shit on silent.
Yeah, I get so many freaking calls from solicitors lately that my phone's not even on vibrate anymore. Okay.
Nope, I put that.
It'll light up and it'll tell me someone's calling, but if I don't notice that it lit up, leave a fucking message, or you clearly didn't want to get a hold of me that bad.
Yeah. Well, CJH Entertainment was talking about the money he wasted on college. I was very lucky. I mean, I had to pay to go to school, and it was I went to a private school, of course. So it was $8,000 a year undergrad, but I paid for all of that before. I think I was still paying off loans when Mr. Bojan and I moved in together after he graduated. But when it came to my graduate degrees, I was lucky. My former employer paid for them, so it was like $70,000 worth of education, and then they laid me off, so I got to leave.
Had 2. You said you had 2 in college, and it was $50,000 a year. So cutting that in half down to $25,000 a year versus your $8,000 a year, their college is triple the cost of your college. More than triple, technically.
Right, but if we were just looking at tuition, because I was only paying $8,000 a year without room and board, so it was only. My tuition was 3/4 of what their tuition only was.
No, I'm with Solus Acid on his comment. I didn't go to college. I went to work.
Since I put myself through college, I did have a couple of jobs going on through all of school. So I did not get to party like Mr. Bojan did because his mommy and daddy paid for his school. But I was lucky, got a computer science major, went and, like I said, got my 2 graduate degrees. I even started a 3rd, so I have theoretically a graduate certificate in conflict management. I didn't finish the degree because I did not resolve my conflict with one of the professors that gave me a C in the last course I took. So
professors are going to give you the grade they want to give you. That's what I've determined.
Pretty much. Let's see.
I did a little bit of that online college stuff because I had the GI Bill, and I was like, I should probably use it. So I tried really hard, but like my minor was in communications studies, right?
Communications, I know, is made up degree.
They are really freaking liberal in the communications classes, and this lady who had like her doctorate in this crap, like. She did not like me one bit. And she did not like the fact that I was like, no, that's not racist. That guy's an asshole, but I don't think what he said is racist. And then they play another one, and I'm like, no, that guy was definitely racist. I mean, he literally said that white people were the problem. That's right. And like, she did not like it. She did not like how much I argued with the other students. And despite the fact that I wrote the most cogent and informed arguments of anyone in that class and backed them all up with statistical data that usually came from the FBI, I never got better than a C- on any of the assignments I turned in.
Under, of course, that's the case. I mean, you used big words like cogent. That fucking terrifies.
She clearly didn't understand. She's like, cogent? I don't think that's a word. What's cogent? I got to look that up.
it can cut the other way too, because I had a woman in politics class because I was
Ugh.
required to take, at a liberal arts college, you have to, take your undergraduate requirements, and one of them was, a gender class, and this was back in the early 2000s. And I took the women in politics class. I was a political science major, so it made sense. I knew I had heard about this teacher. No matter what you did as a male in that class, you were going to get a B. And this because she was smart, because no one can like prove that you were jobbing them if you give them a B. So instead of giving like F's or D, so nope, all guys got to be. So I adjusted my outlook and just did put no effort into the class. I was like, oh yeah, I'm happy with a B. I had a friend who was like a go-getter, like really wanted like to become a lawyer, get LSAT, straight A's, all that stuff, and he was mad because he was like, this is an A paper. I'm gonna go argue, and I was like, dude, you're not gonna win. Your a B's not gonna sink your average.
Don't fight it. Or the next time she'll give you a C just out of spite.
Yeah, so I was like, what you have to do, and I know this is hard for you, is calibrate your effort because if you do like I do and you put no effort in, a B is fantastic and you're just happy.
The only way you're getting an A in that class is if you find the little man in her boat.
No, it's if you become you'd have to be Bud Light dude and change and announce that you're changing teams.
Oh yeah, then you graduate like magna cum laude because you're better than any of the women.
With honors.
That's one of the things I was telling. That's one of the things I was telling Jacob to do on his, doctoral application. Is like, put down that you're trans.
But no,
or at least
non-binary.
Exactly.
You're a bisexual, non-binary.
I have even less respect for people who are non-binary. It's like you can't even pick. Like, come on, pick, okay? This isn't a choose your own adventure book where you get to go halfway down the male side and go, I'm non-binary, so I'm going to go back and see what's in the female path.
Well, it's a little weird that you're non-binary, but by its very definition is proof that there is a binary. You know what I mean? You can't be non-something that doesn't exist.
I think they're mean traditional, but Jacob is studying anthropology as his minor, kind of for the whole forensic science thing. And here was his text for today. I am reading an article from my linguistic anthropology class. And apparently hate speech is no longer the term. It is injurious speech now.
Injurious?
Injurious?
No, you've got to understand there's legal reasons why they have to do it that way.
Oh, please.
There shouldn't be. I hate the idea of there being hate speech or hate crimes or anything else.
But
I don't feel like the criminal justice system needs qualifiers.
No, but there's a reason, because if you do hate speech in the United States, the First Amendment kind of negates that.
Correct.
But if you do something like injurious, like there's the carve-outs to the First Amendment are specifically when you cause harm or injury or fighting words, when your words are inciting violence and injury. So by changing that, it seems like it's inconsequential, but that is 100% designed so that they can pass actual laws that will bypass the First Amendment.
Hey, Lil Chad.
Yep.
Lil Chad.
Yeah. What?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
That's you, Lil Chad.
Yeah.
Fuck you, you soft-spoken, monotonous piece of shit. Do you feel injured?
I do, and I'm not even him.
I feel
I'm deeply offended.
I feel like I got some shrapnel off of that.
I mean, I know you, so yeah, I get hurt every time you say mean things like that. I just don't say it.
Oh, come on. You know that means I love
you. I'm kidding. This is how
your
Slender
love is injurious.
Yeah.
You know, where's Walton? Because he would give a whole speech about
it's called hate love. I do hate love.
Little Chad, you got to get out of this narcissistic relationship.
That's toxic. They use injurious love words to get you.
Injurious love words.
That needs to be like the thing underneath Walton's name next time is just master of injurious love words.
I got a nice red oak I want to introduce you to. You know, you got to get out of this relationship.
I went to California, and you know, there's those roads where they cut it right through the wood, and I was very I had to stop and pull over because it just did something to me.
It's just too much.
It did something to me, but at the same time, I was like, man, that's worse than throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
Oh, too funny, too funny. So,
What-
did you all hear the news?
This is
Yeah.
the worst casting. It's so stupid.
It's really
Oh, I
bad.
was hoping we could talk about the Dutch people trying to have sex and give
Oh,
birth in
we can-
space.
We can do that next. I was just passing
Yeah.
along this information that in just a couple of hours since I first found the article, it has now been officially confirmed. He did accept the role. So after Jake Gyllenhaal,
Everybody
John
turned it
Krasinski,
down.
Adam
Adam Driver, yeah.
Why do they
Slim
keep
person.
casting Pedro Pascal in things?
Because
He's
he'll do
not
I don't
that
know.
good.
He'll do it cheap.
Yeah, but he's not he's not an impressive actor to me. Like
He's a fucking socialist. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I
which
mean,
is
that
not what you
has
want
nothing
for
to do with
reboot
his
to-
acting chops, as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned. I just think
I
it's
mean,
fucking
yeah,
boring.
if that's a disqualifier, we're not going to find many actors at all for this role.
Yeah, no
So
shit,
there-
right?
There's two roles that I think Pedro Pascal actually did fairly well in. One was in Game of Thrones, where he got his head popped like a grape, which was
Yep, Red Viper.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have monologued.
Probably my favorite part of that character.
And the second one, and I don't know as many people have seen this, is the unbearable weight of massive talent with Nicolas Cage.
Yes. Yeah, he was actually really good in that.
Okay.
He was because he was playing a complete idiot who was like obsessed with Nick Cage. So it worked
Yeah.
really.
That was
And I
really good.
still think that's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Oh, I
just-
saw Creator last night.
That was
Ooh,
it
tell.
was okay.
You tell.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. You know, Shredda, she was in tears
Oh,
because
at
of
the
that,
end
that little
with-
girl.
Bad
Oh,
tears.
dude,
Oh, yeah.
not even at the end. I mean, throughout. Every time that little girl spoke or looked sad.
Had Shredda consumed gummies prior to watching the Creator?
No.
My question for you, Matt, is how do you say that word, creator?
Yeah, Creator.
One more time, please.
Anyway, I also watched you're not gonna get me with your injurious speech.
Is this like a pagan thing? or
This
what?
sounds like a
I don't- I
pagan
have
Whoa,
no-
thing.
whoa! Watch out! The Pagan Pagans is all Walton, so he's not here to discuss that right now.
Calm down, everybody. Those are injurious words.
I watched Payback for the first time in years because it hasn't been available anywhere, and it finally
Still
became
holds
available.
up, doesn't it?
Are you talking about the place where it's
Bro.
available for all the stuff I share with you guys?
No,
Because it's been available there for a while.
are you serious,
Yes,
dude? It is
Dude, you can even watch
bananas.
the director's cut, which is absolutely awful.
the director's
Dude.
cut is terrible.
Dude, that movie is insane.
I love
There's
Payback.
they have
So
a,
good.
a rotary phone in the car that he uses to set off a bomb that's
Well,
under him.
spoilers.
It's in what, dude? The movie is insane. It's crazy.
But it's
Well,
so
and
good.
And then I watched
isn't
The
it?
Mummy.
Like Payback is one of my favorite movies.
Payback
it-
is so good.
Matt,
It's
you
crazy.
you watched Crater, which got removed from Disney Plus.
Crater.
With,
Oh,
And then we watched
Oh,
The
yeah, the
Mummy.
young-
I was
the
high
young
for that
adult
one,
show?
though. That was the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
The Mummy,
you-
yeah, with Tom Cruise. I watched that one. I was
Oh,
high though.
no.
It
oh,
was
the Tom.
insane.
I thought you meant like.
A real one.
Wait. Oh, damn it, Slender.
So wait a minute. So Crater got removed from Disney Plus?
Yeah, that was one of the write down shows. Crater was like that
Ah.
young adult show.
Never saw it,
Gotcha.
but I did see Creator.
Creator. Yeah, I thought. All right, so the Creator, which I thought it was really obviously the special effects are fantastic.
Especially
It
for the
was-
budget.
For the budget that they did, it was evidence of why all the Marvel stuff is shit. Because the one thing you can't say anything about is like the robots look legit. And they're in almost every scene. It's crazy that he did that for $80 million.
Mhm.
And it's because he actually planned his shots and didn't reshoot and didn't make them redo all
Oh.
their effects.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is, little Chad. I think most people don't understand. He also shot it with a prosumer cinema cam that I could actually buy and start using tomorrow if I wanted to.
Well,
And
yeah, people don't really like. If I
like
remember when was it George Lucas was shooting the Sony Handycam things that he was using for the prequels, you could buy for like
yeah, he used a bunch
$3,000.
of, yeah, he did that with previs, a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could for since 1998, the average consumer has been capable of buying cameras that can shoot cinema level quality. We just haven't bothered. For
Well,
most of us.
and that's 100% true. I mean, if you rig the camera, and again, he was using an FX6, which is a Sony full frame camera. He was able to rig that thing so that he could get shots you could not get normally. And it's very, very impressive everything that he did. And again, you pointed out you made a $220 million movie for $85 million. That's nuts.
Because he planned it. That's all you have to do is plan the shots and not. I mean, what it shows is I think Marvel is making $80 to $90 million movies, but they film them 3 times because they have to go back and reshoot the entire movie usually like 3 times before they're done, and so that's what quadruples the budgets.
And they do the same thing with their series. I mean,
and that's the
Daredevil's a perfect example.
Yeah, and that I think Midnight's Edge has been doing a really good series on that Marvel book that came out, where they kind of go a little more deep dive into it, and they talk about Feige's process. And this goes back to Iron Man, where the Marvel way with Feige has been to fix it in post, do it with reshoots since the beginning, because he's not a good planner about that stuff, and without a Perlmutter there to lock him down and make the budgets stay reasonable. This is what happens. And the problem with the creator, going back to the original thing, is the movie was kind of boring. I thought the effects were great. The little girl was fantastic as fantastic. But Denzel's kid is outside of Ballers has always been a little less of a screen presence than I would like. He's
agreed. But he's he's charming though.
But I think he's charming as a secondary actor. I don't know that he's got. I mean, he just doesn't like when you watch Equalizer 3 with his dad, and he's just sitting there having a cup of tea, and you can't take your fucking eyes off the screen because he's just got so much charisma, and you're like, what is Denzel just going to have that tea? All right, I'm going to just watch him have a cup of tea on the Italian coast, and it's amazingly entertaining.
Yeah, I'm not ready to dismiss him entirely. Let's give him a little bit of time.
Well, it took Denzel a long time, too. I mean, Denzel, the entire 80s, he was kind of like meandering around. He
until
was on St. Elsewhere.
Yeah, but once he got into like Virtuosity, that's when he really
Glory was where he really raised his game.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're giving serious answers. Okay. Yes, Glory.
No, Virtuosity is where he peaked. It's not where he started raising his game. Virtuosity's peak, because that's when Russell Crowe also Russell Crowe as the villain eating glass to reform his body. If you haven't seen Virtuosity, it's fantastic. They do yourself a favor. I'm sure it's on a streaming service. What was the name? Sid 2.27 or something weird,
something like that.
It was Russell Crowe was playing an amalgam of serial killer personalities, and Denzel was the disgraced cop who had to train against him in virtual reality, but then he gets loose in the real world. So it's
gonna have to look that one up, because as we know from that one episode we did a while ago, I have seen maybe 3 Denzel movies in my life.
I can't. I mean, there's a whole list. I mean, your next thing you're going to tell me you've never seen
Paramount Plus.
Is that what it's on?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tina, there are 100,000 better movies. I mean, and there's at least 10 better Denzel movies. Please don't do that. Go watch Man on Fire.
Okay. A Man on Fire is definitely number 1, but.
Well, if you remember, a couple weeks ago,
that's right.
A couple months ago, actually, we reviewed the top 50 Denzel movies, and I think I saw 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you
You
missed
were
out on a lot.
disappointing all of us, I think, that night. You kept saying, it's like
Well,
when
I mean, do you expect anything else from me?
my wife does the same thing when I mention these movies from the 80s and 90s, and she's like, "No, I've never seen that." And I just stare at her slack jawed, like, "How have you never seen Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon or Kroll?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what is wrong with you?"
Yeah, have you not seen Slapshot? I mean, come on.
Oh, Slapshot when that's Slapshot.
Overrated.
I can't believe Paul Newman did that movie.
I
I
love that
feel
movie.
like the boomers are kind of having an old people walk
Right.
down memory lane right now.
I mentioned Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon, and Mad Cheesemo over there was like, "I know, right?" So I don't know if that was a boomer moment.
Slender, are you taking big swings here, buddy?
No, the funny thing is, I love all the movies you're talking about, but I know that I loved those
Right.
movies when I was like 6, 7, and 8 years old. So
Yes.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us about how much gas was a gallon when you back in your day, Culture?
When I started driving, you could get gas for less than $1.
See,
You know,
this-
Culture, when I started driving in 1997, I could get gas for less than $1.
99
I was
cents a
getting
gallon,
very-
and the ethanol gas actually cost more.
Yep, that was I remember paying $10 and getting change back for my gas.
We would go down to the private airport, right? Because we had one real close, and we would roll in there like all in a line, and we would fill up on avgas in our.
Is that when you were taking the Coke delivery to deliver the
I'm not-
private airport?
right? Was that
No, that's-
on your way to Colombia?
That's when they were doing the cadaver exchange for class.
Oh,
obviously.
yeah, Tina's son is going to the private airport. No, Mom, it's for a class. I swear. I'm gonna take the meth that we did for the class project, along with the body that I have for the class project, and I'm just going to the airport.
They're
Look.
freedom fighters, Mom.
I'm helping them. I'm getting them juiced up for the fight.
What fighting communism?
Oh yeah, people lost their minds at $1.20. I remember.
It was crazy.
Oh, we were pissed, bro. We were like, what? Now, aren't we like fighting a war against this bullshit? The fuck?
Well,
What?
cars also did get like 8 miles to a gallon for a for a sedan.
Hey, I had a 79 Berlinetta with a 4-barrel carb and a Ram on it, so there was no chance of me getting that many miles to the gallon. What are you talking
I was
Who
about?
the
lucky I
hell
had
is
a-
Henry Beavis?
What now?
He hangs out with Butthead, and he goes.
What?
That's not even how you spell Beavis.
I know.
Oh, there was another question. Solus asked a little bit earlier if any of us had seen the Bath.
I stopped watching in the first episode because they completely were getting his story wrong. I'm actually very familiar with his story. I've read a lot of his stuff, and they just the way that they portrayed. I know this is gonna sound bad, but they didn't portray his slave, his owner, his master in the best light. I know that sounds bad. It's what with him owning him, but
Yeah,
they were actually.
let's see you dig this one. Dig out of this one.
So
let me
here's
jump in. Let me jump in. 15 years ago, I probably would have watched this show because it looked like it was cool. Today, I didn't even think about watching this show because I knew what they were going to do
Yep,
with it.
and it's directed by a woman.
Uh,
Anyway,
I was
yeah.
gonna watch that. I didn't know it was out. Sorry.
Well, so they made his master more of a antagonist than what he really was. He actually really had a great relationship with his slave. He would trust him with his rifles to go hunting. He even entered him into shooting contests until he got banned. Like, oh, no black people, no slaves, and so he couldn't do that anymore. Anyway, so yeah, I am almost 100% sure he did not have a wife before he ended up in the Indian Native American area of whatever that he hit and after he ran, so yeah, it just pissed me off because of I knew if they couldn't get something as basic as that right, then they're not going to care about the accuracy of his story whatsoever,
Gotcha. So you stopped by the reservation in between jobs?
What? I did?
No, I asked. I said, so the character stopped at
No,
a reservation
that's
in
how he
between
escaped
that.
slavery.
No,
I
no, it
think.
wasn't reservation. No, they
Oh,
weren't.
okay.
It was just Indian territory at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, Zach says that episode 3 is better, so go back and give it a couple of more episodes. I imagine.
I don't
I
think I
guess-
should have to suffer through 2 to get to a one that's better.
Yeah, funny you
Well,
say that. As you know, you got the person in the Loki logo over there. It's-
Right?
12 iconic episodes, or
Iconic? Is that what we're going with?
yeah, in my world it is. But you
I'm
guys
told it-
wanted to. Oh, go
What?
ahead.
Oh,
What?
I was just
Iconic?
saying that Loki was iconic. That last
Hmm.
episode was absolutely epic.
the last episode was good. I wouldn't. I mean, epic is. I'm on your side a little bit. I don't want to be pushed too far because I know that it had the cool like part where he grew the horns again and became
Mhm.
God Loki, but I still think that 5 episodes worth of show over 2 seasons is what they actually did. That they could have condensed it pretty solidly. I watch a show like The Continental, and in 3 episodes they start and
I
finish.
gave up on that one too.
Oh, the
Mad.
Continental was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good. It was only 3 episodes,
Mad.
It did
feature
not grab
length,
me.
but
Okay, well,
that
if you-
opening sequence was all action. How did it not grab you?
Yeah,
The
I
very
mean,
first
Because
episode.
it was all action. There was no emotional investment in it whatsoever. It's just things
oh,
happening on screen.
Okay, well, so what's your opinion of the latest The Marvels movie?
Oh, it was horrendous. I mean it didn't make any. The only thing I liked about it was when it went all horror, when the cats, what are they called? The Giverters?
The
Florkins.
Florkins.
Gilgils? The Forkins?
Did
Yeah.
you just say
Flurkin.
Gilgils?
Yeah, I don't fucking know. Anyway,
The
when the
Gilgils.
Forkins, when the Forkins started eating everybody, I liked that part. That was awesome.
Is that the part in the trailer where the Ms. Marvel was screaming and actually genuinely
No.
emoting? Because that
No.
part was actually
That's when she
legit
first
acting.
met. Yeah, when she first
Yeah,
met the
a
Flurkin, that was
Flurkin.
what that was from.
Yeah.
But the
Hey,
Flurkin
look,
was like the
I-
last
I-
third.
I have to say they were very brave with the mother Flurkin that they did there.
Ooh, that was nice punning.
I know.
It was
Oh, I
good.
thought they did the family thing. I thought they did the family thing much better in the Marvels compared to Blue Beetle.
Yeah, the family did have a couple of beats that I liked when the brother was trying to mute his mom with the controller.
Mhm.
It was a good little bit, It was kind of just background as Captain Marvel fucking just mumbles on about whatever.
Well,
What's
Brie
happening?
Larson is terrible. I finally watched The Room for the first time.
Yeah.
And I realized Brie Larson won an Oscar off Jacob Tremblay at like 5 years old. it was like the little kid, and maybe he was like 7 and he was just looking a little smaller, but that kid carried that whole movie and got her a friggin' Oscar, and she's made this career off like the 7-year-old's performance. It's ridiculous. And that's my, because I was like, any average female actress could pull off what Brie Larson did, acting opposite the amazing child actor that they had. I disagree completely with her being a bona fide Oscar winner off that, but that's what
Yeah,
happens when I finally watch those movies.
I haven't seen it yet. It's very far down on my list of must watch.
I can understand why. I don't think you really need to. I was just adding it. I had gotten a copy
Yeah.
to put on my server, and so I was checking it to make sure it actually, correctly encoded from the physical media. Physical media, people, library sales. That's how you can get it cheap. And so I just got
Yeah, but not
sucked into
4K.
just watching. I don't have the AI program to upscale regular DVDs. It's fine. I know. So I only move them to 720.
I upscaled a movie for us the other night. Brahma and I we were just hanging out. We started watching this movie about these Canadian twin martial artist guys, and it is bananas. The movie's made by them, obviously. Yeah, so I upscaled that to give a better quality.
AI
Oh,
is crazy for that stuff. Mad can't see in 4K. That's
oh
just fighting
no.
words.
What?
Slender.
Who said this?
Look at
Sli-
Slender's icon.
Nobody said anything.
How dare you?
I have no
I don't
control
have-
over that. I got hacked.
I don't have feminine eyes. But anyway, I use Topaz Video AI. They're out of Dallas, actually.
Did we want to learn all about Elon
Not really.
Musk's competition, a Dutch firm that is looking to make babies in space?
So their selling point. Wait, are they making babies or delivering babies?
Wait, did you just say what was it? Little Dutch what?
Little Dutch
Dutch-
firm.
firm.
I said, yes,
Oh.
a little Dutch firm is.
I don't think you
attempting to make
should
the-
describe children of any nationality like that.
So this article already has like 4 questions that have appeared in my brain.
Well, I will read. I will read the.
Why
No,
are
no,
the
no! Don't
socks
go away
in-
from the picture. Don't go
No,
away
no.
from the picture.
Like, why
Okay.
are they all wearing the
Okay.
yellow socks?
That's one. But the other one is, you see that like volleyball net looking thing?
Uh-huh.
Right?
Is that a kid bouncing off the corner of the room?
It's definitely a smaller person. I don't know if it's a kid.
A baby maybe. Also,
Well, I don't know the youngest person that's been in space.
it's kind of hard to tell because they're Dutch and Dutch people don't look like people. But like, I see one female and a lot of guys.
Oh no,
No, there's
this is an older lady down
Yeah,
here.
her grandmother's right there.
Dude, she's not gonna be making any kids.
Well, she's there to help with the process. Someone's got to keep things stable.
She's the midwife.
And then my last question before I even saw the article: if you give if you give birth to a baby in space, right? Like when the baby comes out, like it's a small channel, right? And like the head gets all like squished and cone shaped and everything.
Mhm.
Isn't gravity supposed to make the head take the this
Conan
kid will stay a cone head forever.
Conan shape.
I don't know. That's kind of scary.
There
the problem is
are a lot of questions I have about this idea.
It seems as though
let's
they were
learn
so
all about
busy. They were so busy wondering if they could. They never stopped to wonder if they should.
Ooh, Jurassic Park.
Nailed it.
Climate crisis, nuclear Armageddon, or a sudden meteor strike. It's clear humanity could do with Planet B. But first, we need to learn to reproduce safely in space, says Dutch entrepreneur Egbert Edelbroek. His firm, Spaceborne United, is pioneering space sex research with the eventual aim of natural conception and birth in the partial gravity environment found on Mars.
All
The
right,
challenge of
pause real quick. This is
Yeah.
100% this dude just finding a way to try to like trick a girl into relations. Is like, I'm pioneering sex in space. Would you like to participate with my science project? I need you co-eds to be recruited.
As far as
That-
some dude that some
Then-
chick said, I wouldn't have sex with you anywhere on Earth. And then he's like, what about in space? But
That's a logistical issue, right? Like it would have to be really gentle sex, because like if you like really started going, you just launch her across the room.
Wouldn't that be what the
Well,
net is for? Maybe that's what the net's for.
Oh, the net.
Oh, so yeah, when you finish and she explodes off of you.
The challenges of achieving safe space
Well,
sex are galactic.
Real quick, I gotta get going because I gotta go hop
Oh,
on
okay.
with Zach's and a few. But glad I could swing by and tell a few
Thank you
jokes
for-
and say hey.
Thank you for
Oh.
joining us. And yes, the after show is over at Zach's channel, so please
Talking about
head
westerns.
on over. Ooh, sounds fun. I'm not a big westerns person.
Oh, Mad and Culture need to slide out. I guess the Ascendant Spork podcast is on, or the Ascendant Spork stream is on.
All righty. Well,
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Matt.
Culture, did you wanna?
Yeah, go watch go watch Zach's after you're done here, and keep checking out the Ascendant Spork podcast because it's great. Big fan.
Awesome. Well, thank you for stopping by. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate the fact that the chat's still not locked down yet, and I can get in here. So see you later.
Very cool. All right. Talk to you later. All right, so let's learn more about SpaceX. The ambitious Dutchman is confident he will see an extraterrestrial human child born within his lifetime. It's important that the Earth and humanity can become a multi-planetary species. If you want to have independent human settlements beyond Earth, and if you really want them to be independent, you also need to address the reproductive challenge. Actual sexual intercourse in space presents many difficulties, as you gentlemen mentioned earlier. Chief among them, the lack of gravity. A couple would drift away from each other. So, Spaceborne United is first trying to conceive an embryo in space. Starting with mice before eventually moving to human sperm and egg cells, the firm has created a disc that mixes the cells together with the aim of producing a viable embryo. It's like a space
Okay,
station for your
now I'm
cells.
swinging the other way though, right? Like now I'm like, okay, it's not that complicated. Like, come on.
It says that it's like a space station for your cells, says the CEO of the UK-based Frontier Space Technologies, which is working with Spaceborne on the project. This embryo is cryogenically frozen to pause their development, but also to protect them during re-entry. It's a lot of shaking, a lot of vibration, a lot of G-forces. You don't want to expose embryos to this. Research is currently underway in a simulated partial gravity laboratory conditions. Said that a launch with mice cells was planned for the end of the year with a timeline of about 5 or 6 years for the first launch with a human embryo. So
Mm,
interesting, but that's only one step. A giant ethical leap remains before such embryo could be implanted back into an Earthling woman to give birth to the first child conceived in space. It's a delicate topic. You're exposing vulnerable human cells, human embryos, eventually to the hazards of space, to radiation that is much higher than on Earth, to different gravity environments that embryos are never designed for. Such ethical issues are one reason why research into space reproduction has generally been left to private firms like Spaceborne rather than NASA, which is queasy about spending tax dollars on such sensitive topics. Edel Brooks
I'm
said his firm was the only one looking into develop a human embryo in space.
I feel like they're talking about all this, and somebody like Elon Musk would just be like, "We're gonna monetize this process, and we're gonna have like a SpaceX OnlyFans powered by Starlink, where
Oh,
people
dude,
can."
space hookers. We're already
That's
there, man.
that's what it's gonna be. You're like, we're gonna. That's what is like. I think you can
It's not
totally
illegal
finance it.
in space because no laws apply.
Isn't that like when you're what 12 miles offshore? You're in international waters, so there's
Yep, 12 nautical miles.
Does it mean
that's
no
why
laws
they.
apply or just like there are international laws that apply?
Well, I mean, if you're on the ocean, then it's international maritime law. But I don't know that there's any sort of laws that apply to space.
Excellent point. Says that
Um,
bodily fluids that are
mm,
pulled down on Earth would be drawn upwards in a low gravity environment, posing several challenges for the human body. An adult body can handle some differences, but you don't want to expose a growing, more vulnerable fetus to these different variables. So you need to create the perfect environment first. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think this is complicated, and they better have like the little spinny space stations, like in 2001, that generate artificial gravity to be able to deal with
Hmm.
that problem. And
Dude, I figured out how to create the perfect environment like over a decade ago, right? Here's what you do.
move to Fiji.
You turn on the heater so that it's not too cold. You put
Hmm.
like a sheet or like some kind of cloth over top of the lights so that it's like the lights are down low. And then you just play some fucking Barry Manilow and you've created the perfect environment. A child will be conceived. It works.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Oh yeah.
Well, so it looks like that they're going to be able to replicate the IVF process, but I don't know. I mean, can you imagine
This is
going
just
to give
a
birth in space?
this
I
is
mean,
further example of how we've fallen as a society of explorers. You know, where's that old explorer like IVF? Where's the instinct to be the man and women who boldly boldly go where no one has gone before, right? Like forget IVF, you know, like go for it. You know, push the boundaries.
exactly,
You know,
exactly,
be all you can be.
exactly. I wonder though how that would affect like the egg traveling down the fallopian tubes and all of that. Would a gravity impact that in any way, shape, or form?
Well, I know that
Like for example, would you get an
I was gonna say astronauts on the space station are still able to digest and function in
Mhm,
the normal way. Now, the equipment they have to use to for waste disposal is a little more complicated, but the
mhm,
human body part, the actual internal structures and muscles and things function to push the stuff as needed.
mhm.
So I think it would probably, I mean, at least the initial part would probably be fine. I
Well,
know when
to
you
to quote Jurassic Park, life finds a
finds
way.
I think the problems would come later. I know, like in the Expanse, they talk about the was it the consequences for people born and living in space because of the lack of gravity, your bone density. That's the part where stuff like that would be an issue, muscle mass, bone density. But I think you would be able to probably conceive, and you might need to, to make some special accommodations in the delivery process for, but I don't know. It all seems like things that we haven't even managed to get back to the moon or
Mhm.
to build I think we're still just now building ships that can go. I think Elon's about to try relaunching his Starship again that can go into space and come back.
Mhm.
They're supposed to be test flight. I mean, I feel like being able to have a ship that can go up and down safely is probably a prerequisite before we start worrying about baby making.
Yeah,
I
and do
feel
we
like
know if
if you did make a baby, like one of the biggest issues you're going to run into after the misshapen head is if you don't get that baby down to earth in short order, um, that bone density issue is going to be drastically exaggerated. So when they finally do come down to earth, they'll break.
that's a good point. So thus the fact that they need to get the artificial uh, gravity situation resolved. So I don't think we haven't performed surgery in space yet, correct? And I mean, I would worry about that. Like, for example, what if you need a C-section and because delivery doesn't go well?
Yeah, that's I know that again another issue they talk about in the Expanse. You can't close wounds
Hmm.
and without actually having like a wound won't close. You have to get something that can actually press it sealed close and do. I mean, there's a lot of issues. I feel that would come into the birthing process.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was an interesting article.
Well, it's left me with a lot of questions that I don't think they've fully thought through the answers to.
I can say that.
Because, like most guys, this guy thought, I could fuck in space. And then he stopped thinking.
Well, I do like the fact that they're considering the ethical issues. You know,
That I mean,
I
that's
don't
actually
see there
nice.
being a whole lot of ethical issues here, Like,
Well, I think
making
the
babies has never been an ethics question to me, as long as, you're prepared for it.
I think it's more the second effects like we talked about, which is if the baby is born in a zero G environment,
hmm
the physical ailments and development issues that will come from that do require probably some ethical thought about if it's right and proper for a child to be conceived and born in space rather than on Earth or something like that. Now,
yeah.
we could, I'm sure, develop some systems to try to mitigate those problems, but without that's hopefully what they're going with is. I mean, it's nice that they're talking about it theoretical, but I still think we have to worry about having a ship, having a moon base, having something permanent where people are going to and from before you need to worry about those consequences.
Absolutely agree. And I also would we don't know what the results would be. For example, if the embryo was conceived in space, once again through outside of the womb, and then during the reentry, whatever radiation it's exposed to, and then you implant that in a woman's body, then what are the results going to be?
I mean, I know pregnant women aren't supposed to go on roller coasters. I mean, re-entry is
Right.
kind of going to be a problem too. I mean, I'm sure you're pulling G forces in measures well above that of like going on, I don't know, the Space Mountain, which pregnant women aren't supposed to ride.
Exactly.
Or what would be is there a regional theme park in the Chicagoland area that people go to with a famous
Six
roller
Flags.
coaster?
Yep. Six Flags Great America.
Oh, they're merging with Cedar Fair. You're going to get lucky because Cedar Fair's taking it over. They're going to actually make it a good theme park.
It was actually a halfway decent theme park. I mean, I didn't visit Disney level theme park until I was in high school. So I mean, I thought that Great America was pretty decent. Lots
See,
of roller coasters, which I don't enjoy, and all those other crazy rides. So
but most Six Flags are kind of just not maintained very well, is what I'd say. I don't know, Slender. Have you been to the Six Flags here in our area over in Maryland?
No.
No. King's Dominion. Have you gone to King's Dominion?
I've been to King's Dominion.
Cedar Fair
But-
owns King's Dominion, so they made that one nicer too. Paramount owned it before Cedar Fair, which is interesting.
I like King's Dominion. I also like Busch Gardens.
Busch Gardens is
Garden-
what Great America reminded me of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Busch Gardens is part of the SeaWorld family.
Hmm. Yeah, I liked the Busch Gardens. Well, when in '97, when I was on my honeymoon, we went down to the Orlando, Tampa area. So we did visit Busch Gardens, and this was before it had roller coasters and all that crazy stuff. So I didn't enjoy it as much when we took the kids down later, because more of the animal exhibits had been closed, and it was more of a focus on the roller coasters. And then I was really disappointed by the one in up by you guys, because there were
Williamsburg?
hardly any animals there. Yeah, Williamsburg. There were hardly any
Well, yeah,
animals there, and that's
'cause
what I thought Busch
Williams-
Gardens was.
Yeah, Williamsburg, Virginia, Busch Gardens was built to be a theme park first, and not a.
Yeah,
I think the one in Tampa was built to be kind of like a little zoo that they built a theme park around.
exactly. That was the difference, because SeaWorld was relatively close to there. I think it was what I think they're like an hour apart. SeaWorld's right outside of Orlando, where Busch Gardens is in Tampa.
I bet your boys probably liked the Williamsburg one though,
Yes, they did. They did enjoy it, absolutely.
because that one had, if depending on when you went, that one had fantastic roller coasters.
Hmm. They said that they had some of their best roller coasters. They said were there, and they also liked the roller coasters that were at SeaWorld in Orlando. So I don't.
Which one?
I don't.
Yeah, I think
I don't
SeaWorld
ride roller
Orlando
coasters,
had
but
it.
they're good. Hmm.
I was gonna, yeah, they have some good ones. I've seen Jay from Geeks and Gamers, talk about some
Yeah,
of the SeaWorld ones.
exactly. Exactly. So do we want to hop over to Rumble and talk about
Watch some
Disney
trailers.
pronouns and watch some trailers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rumble
let's watch
exclusive.
trailers.
Slender
Oh,
Unleashed. He's gonna be so much angrier.
No, I'm
all right.
super excited. That trailer that I saw earlier, I think it's really going to turn it around for Marvel. It's going to be a whole different game. This is the one.
This is
the
a tease for the Rumble exclusive portion of the show where you're going to see Slender talk about how much he loves Madam Web.
Well, I just shared the Rumble link in the YouTube chat, so head on over there to enjoy. We have 7 people over there now, so head on over with the rest of them, and we will watch some trailers. We have the Marvel What If Season 2 to take a look at. The new Illuminations, I think that's the name of the company, that's coming out with Migration. They're from the same world of Minions and those kind of fun stuff. And then the trailer that Slender and Chad are so excited about, Madam Web, coming from Sony. So do head on over there. Oh, and I hear a ping. So, oh no, Matt is back. Did you join the wrong chat?
No, I'm just getting tired of people finally using Central Time but not telling anyone.
So they're so
I thought
it's
Snap was like 9 o'clock Central. I was surprised you were going there so quickly. Well, we're about to leave. We're about to leave YouTube and watch some trailers on Rumble. So hang on just a sec. I'm going to play Matt's most favorite video clip as we say a goodbye to YouTube.
And it is a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
I cannot believe you.